Hi guys, I'm back for the ninth video of the Today Skill series. This video is about formatting a Excel sheet. Now, why it is necessary? You may be in sales, you may be in HR, you may be in finance or marketing or operations. Wherever you work in, you need to format the Excel sheet in a proper order to make it more intelligible and analyzable, especially by your boss or the customer. Now, why this is important? Because be it whether you are doing MBA, BBA, research, whatever, Excel sheet is something that you will always be continuously using. Now, majority of Excel sheets, whichever we work on, are actually a byproduct of a download and some lateral entry. So what this means is that we download from say a salesforce.com or SAP or wherever, and then start putting data laterally if any data is not updated, and then share it over mail or use it as part of presentation. Now Excel, we all know, is most utility software of current day due to its ability to store data in defined order and giving us tools to analyze it. Now data, if you can present in PPT all the time in formatted table format, it's always great. But most of the times in real life, since the human propensity is to see the data in whole at time of analysis and cross-referencing some of it alongside the analysis, it becomes important to show the Excel sheet and also do the analysis also on the Excel sheet itself. So for this, having a formatted Excel sheet becomes very essential at all times to create a favorable impression of the data. So this is actually a free video. Once again, if you like this video, feel free to like, share and subscribe so that you can get many such more videos for your own reference. Okay. So today's agenda first, we will first explore data types of each column. You might have also come across in last video about macro, how data types are important. In this video, we'll explore the data types within Excel cells. Next, we will look at Format Painter, as it always helps in copy pasting formats over large volume of data to make it uniform without much of effort. Next, altering of grid view. Now, because grids having all the crisscross lines at all places is rather intimidating at times for lay user. Next is obviously the use of trim function and the cell styles. Why we use trim is to optimize the sheet, especially in terms of spaces in the cells. So this you cannot do otherwise, because you would never be visually able to spot the exact spaces that are there in each of the cells, and it will be very time consuming to actually do click on each cell and do that. So trim function actually is a ready-made solution for that. But this will also help you in various formulas also. So then we explore on the hiding and sheet naming conventions and various uses. And so we can then, as naming convention will help you in saving Excel sheets such that it can be easily be found within a folder by simple sorting the folder itself, so that you don't need to search on only on the version front. Lastly, how to construct the sheet for analysis prior to beginning with analysis is what we will be exploring here. So we will not look at the direct analysis, but we'll just look at how to prepare the sheet before to begin analysis, or beginning a presentation, or showing where this Excel sheet might be required to be shown to the audience, be it your boss or be the customer. Okay. Okay, so why checking of data type of each cell in a column is required? So actually what happens is, it may appear simple to hear, but when it comes to Excels, especially one that has compiled from multiple sources, each from a different user with say majorly different versions of Excel, it becomes a milieu, a hybrid kind of a sheet. Now, more the versions member themselves they use, or say even sometimes they copy from some other Excel again, and then copy into their Excel, and then from that Excel they share it with you, and you copy from that and then share it over further. It may be because of laziness, it may be different versions, maybe different because of different gradations within the organization. Maybe they use they get eligibility of having Excel of different kinds or different versions at times. So these things creates a lot of confusion and a very big hybrid sheet. Now in the hybrid sheet there will be data in one column which will be maybe some way general formatted, some number formatted, some text formatted in the same column. Okay, so then what will happen is that when you run a DAX formula or say VBA or even a pivot, it will yield varying results which you will not be expecting. And worst part is that you will not know that this kind of thing will come up at the time of analysis by your boss or some other people. So you will maybe suddenly calling you that while analyzing and that why this kind of data is coming. It can be a very false kind of situation. So the biggest example is, suppose say you try to add say two cells, okay, from the number format, one with text format. Just you will not understand even by which one is a text formatted number or which is the original number. Only thing that text formatted number usually is on the towards left justified. The normal numbers are usually on the right justified, but again that is not always the case. So you will have difficulty in that. So once you will find that you are adding one text formatted number and one other number, you are expecting say the sum say two numbers are 10 and 10, so you are expecting a 20 as a sum, and you suddenly find that this 10 is coming as the sum, just because you have not ignored the format aspect of that particular thing. So these things come up. So hence formatting is of very important. So different data types that are used basically are number, date, text, general, and currency. Okay, these are most prominently used. Full list. How will you get to the full list which are possible? So you simply right click on the Excel sheet on any cell or something. And then what you do is that you will be given a large number of options. So from there you simply select format cells, and by left clicking then you will get the possible set of formats. So that screen I have already attached here, so you find it here, this thing, this full list that is there. So you can always have this entire thing if you require. So now then why you need to set correct data type, I just told to you, for all formulas and for future analysis you definitely require every column to be in consistent format, and so that all kinds of formulas always yield a correct consistent result, and that way that is our very purpose also of using Excel sheet to get the analysis done in a correct manner and a easy manner. Okay, so now moving next. So today's agenda, first we will first explore data types of each column. You might have also come across in last video about macro how data types are important. In this video we'll explore the data types within Excel cells. Next we will look at format painter, as it always helps in copy pasting formats over large volume of data to make it uniform without much of effort. Next, altering of grid view. Now, because grids having all the crisscross lines at all places is rather intimidating at times for lay user. Next is obviously the use of trim function and the cell styles. Why we use trim is to optimize the sheet, especially in terms of spaces in the cells. So this you cannot do otherwise, because you would never be visually able to spot the exact spaces that are there in each of the cells, and it will be very time consuming to actually do click on each cell and do that. So trim function actually is a ready-made solution for that. But this will also help you in various formulas also. So then we explore on the hiding and sheet naming conventions and various uses. And so we can then, as naming convention will help you in saving Excel sheets such that it can be easily be found within a folder by simple sorting the folder itself, so that you don't need to search on only on the version front. Lastly, how to construct the sheet for analysis prior to beginning with analysis is what we will be exploring here. So we will not look at the direct analysis, but we'll just look at how to prepare the sheet before to begin analysis, or beginning a presentation, or showing where this Excel sheet might be required to be shown to the audience, be it your boss or be the customer. Okay. So how to convert? Now suppose you have found in the Excel sheet that some of them of the data is in number format, some in the text format in the same column. Although they are looking very similar, but they are of different formats. Now you have to convert them. There are one way is obviously to select each of this particular cell and then converting it manually. There is other ways actually. There are other formulas also. A direct conversion is possible, but for that you will need to add a add-in. So that is a DB add-in. So if you have this add-in already installed within you, then you can always use it, and then in that case you will get all these formats. And if you right click, then you will get to all these things, these features, etc. To directly convert from text to general, general to text, and all these things. But if you are not having this add-in, then you will have to follow the processes that have been shown in the later part of this video. Coming to the format painter, where it is a format painter, you can always find it in the ribbon. Here also it has been shown that you just see in the file at home, in the home there is this format painter. It has been marked in yellow, and this big red arrow is also pointing to it. So this is the format painter. Always remember it. You can always open your Excel and find it. So you'll get it. Sequence of steps. Even if you click on this, it will show you the different three steps. I'm just written it down. So it's a very three small steps. Just click on the cell of whose data you want to copy, or the format that you want to copy of that particular data. And next, what you do, you click on this format painter, left click. Once you click on the format painter, what you will do, you will go to that range of cell or that particular cell where you need to copy that particular format on. Data of that particular cell will remain same, only that the format will change. So suppose date format was initially in number form in the one cell, and once you have copied a format of date from say like 01 August to 2020, so then the entire thing of that particular number formatted cell will then change completely into that desired format. Okay, so it will show the corresponding date as per the value. So by this way, the entire thing will be made consistent. Okay, so if now suppose you want to do multiple times, then you can always double click on the format painter. If you double click on the double left click of mouse on that format painter, then what will happen? It will be permanently selected. Not permanently, I mean for a greater time it will be selected. So what it will happen? It will give you an option, because you can then pick and choose different places where you need the change in format with respect to that category of data. Then you can do that accordingly. Okay, I'll show you with an example, so you'll get more clear. So today's agenda first, we will first explore data types of each column. You might have also come across in last video about macro, how data types are important. In this video, we'll explore the data types within Excel cells. Next, we will look at format painter, as it always helps in copy pasting formats over large volume of data to make it uniform without much of effort. Next, altering of grid view. Now, because grids having all the crisscross lines at all places is rather intimidating at times for lay user. Next is obviously the use of trim function and the cell styles. Why we use trim is to optimize the sheet, especially in terms of spaces in the cells. So this you cannot do otherwise, because you will never be visually able to spot the exact spaces that are there in each of the cells, and it will be very time consuming to actually click on each cell and do that. So trim function actually is a ready-made solution for that. But this will also help you in various formulas also. So then we explore on the hiding and sheet naming conventions and various uses. And so we can then, as naming convention will help you in saving Excel sheets such that it can be easily be found within a folder by simple sorting the folder itself, so that you don't need to search only on the version front. Lastly, how to construct the sheet for analysis prior to beginning with analysis is what we will be exploring here. So we will not look at the direct analysis, but we'll just look at how to prepare the sheet before to begin analysis, or beginning a presentation, or showing where this Excel sheet might be required to be shown to the audience, be it your boss or be the customer. Okay. So next is altering view to reduce grid lines. Where you can do it, just simply go to the view. You in the ribbon of the Excel, here you will find this grid line, and you can, if once you uncheck it, it will be taking the grid line out of the Excel. So it will have one common uniform thing, which is mostly of white color. What this helps is that, well, obviously it reduces a lot of complexity in visualizing the data. So in fact, majority feel I feel that most of the people who see the data, large volumes of data, especially, they always feel that there is too much content and crisscross showing in these grids, etc. only adds to it. Because this undermines the very concentration, actually the quality of concentration on the key parts of the file which you want to highlight and discuss on. The best way to deal with this situation is that simply remove the grid lines and focus more on the data which is there, so that there is no need for stressing eyes on grid lines. There is one other way also. If you suppose need the grid lines but don't want it to be black or something just to for a show, then a solution is also there. Then you simply change the color of the grid lines. So that option is also there. You can see here in this thing can be explored and show to showcase that nice differences. In a simple, actually, it's just simple. You go to the file on the top left corner of the Excel here, this file. Then on the file you will click, then you will find the large number of option is showing. In that, select the Excel options. Okay, click on the advanced. This part advanced, in that you will show advanced. Like here you can see in this screenshot also is you go to the advanced, and in the right hand side you can see the, so scroll down to the display options, and the display option simply change the color here. This is shown in the black circle kind of a thing. So choose the preferred color, whatever it is, then the color will automatically change. Okay. So today's agenda, first, we will first explore data types of each column. You might have also come across in last video about macro, how data types are important. In this video, we'll explore the data types within Excel cells. Next, we will look at Format Painter, as it always helps in copy pasting formats over large volume of data to make it uniform without much of effort. Next, altering of grid view. Now, because grids having all the crisscross lines at all places is rather intimidating at times for lay user. Next is obviously the use of trim function and the cell styles. Why we use trim is to optimize the sheet, especially in terms of spaces in the cells. So this you cannot do otherwise, because you will never be visually able to spot the exact spaces that are there in each of the cells, and it will be very time consuming to actually click on each cell and do that. So trim function actually is a ready-made solution for that. But this will also help you in various formulas also. So then we explore on the hiding and sheet naming conventions and various uses. And so we can then, as naming convention will help you in saving Excel sheets such that it can be easily be found within a folder by simple sorting the folder itself, so that you don't need to search on only on the version front. Lastly, how to construct the sheet for analysis prior to beginning with analysis is what we will be exploring here. So we will not look at the direct analysis, but we'll just look at how to prepare the sheet before to begin analysis, or beginning a presentation, or showing where this Excel sheet might be required to be shown to the audience, be it your boss or be the customer. Okay. Then the next, use of trim. See that why I use trim is to cut out extra spaces, as just have been told in the previous slides also. So that may be within the data actually. So this what trim does is actually reduce space within the cell. Why this is important is, as I already explained, that it reduces the possibility of getting a formula wrong. Sometimes if spaces are there, some formulas like VLOOKUP etc. operate differently and give erroneous results. There is a space after all in a character. I mean, sometimes, most of the times, usually when you copy paste on some other location, it usually has a space, and resulting is that it leads to a different value altogether. So suppose you are comparing say 120 and 120 with a space in it, then if you do a is equal function check, then you will find that they are not same. So why you will see that both in this way, it's not just for this particular instance, any other instance, any data, you will find that this after adding the space, it is not exactly always the same. So hence it's always better that you trim it. I mean, trim the cells. Why take chance actually? Next in is obviously the cell style. Cell style is shown here. So in the right hand side, most of the people I see and discuss within the corporates also, they don't use cell styles. Now it's a very easy thing to use, and I just we should always use actually sales styles. So why we use sales styles? Because it helps highlight a particular piece of data which you want to focus on during a long presentation or something, so that focus of the individual set of audience is always there on that particular cell of the Excel sheet. So it gives you a chance to play around that particular piece of data and build onto it, so it becomes it shows a path that way. And the second thing is that once you are, say, you are setting a heading, so you need not always mark it bold and change the background colors. You can simply drop down and then use the desired color along with of the gradient of that particular color. So like say there are some linked column entries. So suppose you are doing sales also, sales data total as well as the highest SKU sold. So these are linked. So obviously if the sales total revenue earned from sales will go high only when the number of SKUs will go high. So you said go in the directly proportional. So if you want to show these two data together, it is always good that if you mark these two column names in that table with a similar color with a different different concentration. So like you say 40% SN2 and then for this 60% SN2, you using those to share this thing in this orangish climate. So you can use these two there, and then similar way you can arrange the other columns also, which are relatively dependent, so that it gives a good connect. As well as you also, it will help you to cross connect and understand which all columns are rows are linked, and it may help you in that time of analysis also. So today's agenda first, we will first explore data types of each column. You might have also come across in last video about macro, how data types are important. In this video, we'll explore the data types within Excel cells. Next, we will look at Format Painter, as it always helps in copy pasting formats over large volume of data to make it uniform without much of effort. Next, altering of grid view. Now, because grids having all the crisscross lines at all places is rather intimidating at times for lay user. Next is obviously the use of trim function and the cell styles. Why we use trim is to optimize the sheet, especially in terms of spaces in the cells. So this you cannot do otherwise, because you would never be visually able to spot the exact spaces that are there in each of the cells, and it will be very time consuming to actually do click on each cell and do that. So trim function actually is a ready-made solution for that. But this will also help you in various formulas also. So then we explore on the hiding and sheet naming conventions and various uses. And so we can then, as naming convention will help you in saving Excel sheets such that it can be easily be found within a folder by simple sorting the folder itself, so that you don't need to search on only on the version front. Lastly, how to construct the sheet for analysis prior to beginning with analysis is what we will be exploring here. So we will not look at the direct analysis, but we'll just look at how to prepare the sheet before to begin analysis, or beginning a presentation, or showing where this Excel sheet might be required to be shown to the audience, be it your boss or be the customer. Okay. So now coming to the hiding feature, now see hide. There is a typical trend among actually sales professionals whom I know. Trend is to download the from software the sales values and then work on it, and then do a pivot and then make tables inside of the pivot sheet to showcase some specific data, and sometimes even try to copy main sheet into different other sheets and try work something there, and then now with about say 12-15 sheets, then share the whole Excel to their boss or put up for presentation. Boss as such, he struggles which particular sheet to work on or see, and that, and then they usually yell, and that's when the problem starts. So sometimes when this cross questioning also happen, suppose if such kind of a sheet you have put forward during a presentation and you want to show some data to a particular person basis a query, then it becomes a problem, because you tend to be confused and tend to end up answering things or projecting incorrect things, and leading to a temporary recoil in the interest of listener as well as inquirer. and it completely goes to a different direction after that. Hence, hiding unwanted sheet as well as hiding unwanted columns, both are very very essential to make the thick full sheet which is to be forwarded or presented in a very desired and correct format with a good display. Easy to understand that. Naming, yes, name will come in the live example also. Always try to put the name in the year first, and then month, and then the day, and underscore, then the name of the file, not reverse. Yes, you can do it. Even for your own reference, you can always, many people try to do this kind of format, that name of the file and then, day, month, and this, because this helps in terms of individual's own, sense of correctness. So that gives a more sense of control. But I would still advise that please use it. I will show you the difference. I mean, you can always name it in this second manner also, but it's always better to use the first format because you will be able to sort. That's why it is preferred. Okay. Pre-analysis, construct development, and drive example. So, what are the steps actually? So, now we have all done the basics. Please understand that before sharing the Excel or sending over mail, please color code similar on related variables. What this will do is to give you a direction where you are when you are analyzing. And classify at this stage the dependent and independent variables, then all these things, and then maintain the uniform font size and wrap the text, remove grid lines, hide unnecessary sheets. These are which has just been showed. So giving you in a constructive way. Okay, so usually how you should approach it. So this will actually, what it will do is that it will give you a brownie point in itself. So you will be in a position to explain everything in a very proper manner. So usually this is the syntax, whatever I've been told, we have been summarizing it here like this so that a construct is built. So first obviously identify, when you are having all this data in the column cells, you first identify which of these column values are dependent and independent variable. Just in the previous part of the video also, I just told you that like say when you are talking about sales and about SKUs sold, so obviously the sales will high when the will be go high, and then when the SKU sold is also high. Unless and until there is some very high cost item which is sold higher as compared to other more generic sales items, in which case there may be a little bit of ambiguity. But even then also you will find that usually the pattern is always that the SKUs goes high, then only the sales will go high. So that pattern will always be there. So that's why they are all linked data. So you should always keep a similar kind of a name. You can always from the sales style select the correct different linked or similar kind of color with a different gradient and like that. Then basis the above classification, you also then start looking at the units within that particular column, whether everything is in order or not. If there is a date, then everything is in the proper format. Every cell in that particular column in the proper format. Color code the independent and dependent link variables, so that in the future on when you are doing the pivot sheet, you will have some ideas about who to link with what. And then maintain a uniform font size throughout the Excel, so that it looks good and better. So usually font size say 11, 12 you can use, or if you are projecting it, then you can use it for 14 or 15 font size, and maybe Arial or whatever Calibri or whatever you want to use, you can use that. So, and then after that, what you do, you have to wrap all the cells so that everything is within that particular cell, even if there are some data entry. In fact, I always advise that whenever you collecting data only, you always to collect via drop down, so that there is not much of overpopulation of data in cells. Okay. The last point is that sheet 5 is that step 5 is that remove the unnecessary grid lines. I just told to you, just like the last, you just remove the grid lines following this step order, and hide unnecessary sheets and columns, and then you will have a proper clear range of data which is already formatted, all the colors are already there, and every classification is already done, all the columns data are consistent, wrapping is already done, font size is uniform. So now everything is ready, and always try not to merge cells because it helps creates problems when you are doing the pivoting. So that is with that, I think we come to an end of this theoretical part. Now we'll look at the practical aspect of. So today's agenda, first we will first explore data types of each column. You might have also come across in last video about macro how data types are important. In this video we'll explore the data types within Excel cells. Next we will look at format painter, as it always helps in copy pasting formats over large volume of data to make it uniform without much of effort. Next, altering of grid view. Now, because grids having all the crisscross lines at all places is rather intimidating at times for lay user. Next is obviously the use of trim function and the cell styles. Why we use trim is to optimize the sheet, especially in terms of spaces in the cells. So this you cannot do otherwise, because you would never be visually able to spot the exact spaces that are there in each of the cells, and it will be very time consuming to actually click on each cell and do that. So trim function actually is a ready-made solution for that. But this will also help you in various formulas also. So then we explore on the hiding and sheet naming conventions and various uses. And so we can then, as naming convention will help you in saving Excel sheets such that it can be easily be found within a folder by simple sorting the folder itself, so that you don't need to search on only on the version front. Lastly, how to construct the sheet for analysis prior to beginning with analysis is what we will be exploring here. So we will not look at the direct analysis, but we'll just look at how to prepare the sheet before to begin analysis, or beginning a presentation, or showing where this Excel sheet might be required to be shown to the audience, be it your boss or be the customer. Okay. Okay, so now it's time for the live example. So I will open the folder which I have just made for this particular purpose. So I'll open the straight away the Excel sheet which I'll be using for this exercise. So actually this is a very typical normal Excel sheet which most salespeople use. So there is a large number of data rows and columns which are there. So first, before sending over this Excel sheet to your boss or say a customer, if you have downloaded it from somewhere or accumulated from different salespersons on your way to now sending it, you will need to do a few things. Okay, it's not just for a sales employee, but it's also for any HR employee, or as well as any operations or finance guy who works on data. So first, what you need to do is that first you have to understand what is the name of the columns that you have used, and what is the expected data type that is supposed to be there in these particular columns. Why it is important to understand this particular piece of information is because if you do not understand, accordingly format the particular columns, then you will never be able to create a uniform Excel sheet, which also means that in going forward, when you will be using this sheet for any kind of analysis, maybe you or your boss, you will always end up getting the wrong answers. So suppose you are looking at the projected pattern between depot and sales, you will not always get the correct answer if the data of the depots or in the sales is not all uniform throughout the particular column. What this means is that suppose there are some text data in between the number formatted data, which maybe because of the reason that say you have accumulated this from multiple different individuals who might be using different versions of the Excel, or say it may also be that the person who is maintaining that data may have by mistake copy pasted from different sources and have continued to keep the same format within the Excel sheet without his knowledge, because otherwise as such the data will always look very similar. So before going in detail, you first just giving you a small example. Suppose you are doing a 10 addition of two cells. Okay, so you are doing say sum of these two particular cells, say cell this and another cell, so T4 and U4. So you are doing a sum, so it will yield 20. But suppose if you one of these cells have been marked as say text without your knowledge, I mean you just copy pasted it and then now you are doing the same function, then it will show using the same formula and everything else is same, it will show you 10, so which is incorrect. So this is what I'm trying to say and continuously hark on. Please understand the formats of the data and try to make it as uniform as it gets. Even in this case, suppose what happens is that, say, suppose you are having this, you want to use this for primary key or any other purpose. This is the first particular column of this particular data, and it is a number formatted column. So usually, often we look for such kind of columns which are numbers, so that it may be later on used as a primary key. It's not necessary that it can be used as a primary key, but is always the inclination. Now, what happens in such cases when you are copy pasting from different sources? Some of the sources tend to have this kind of a format. Okay, so you will see that the left the text or the number in that particular cell is aligned towards the left side. So this is actually an indication that there is some change in the particular format. It is not necessary that always it will be justified, but it more or less can give you a direct indication that you need direct formatting on these cells. Now, if it is only one cell, you can always click on it, and then you will get this kind of a prompt, and you can immediately convert to number. So if you do that, then it will solve your purpose. But the thing is that it's not that simple. So it will not be that just one cell will have this kind of a problem. So it maybe have multiple number of cells at different places within that Excel. So if it's a very large Excel sheet, for you it will be very difficult to spot these kind of things and then get go browse downwards every time to get it. So what is the alternative solution to this particular thing? The solution to this is that first you need to make one particular column and then first check the format of the cells. So how do you do that? There is a formula in Excel which says, because I already know that this outlet code, all of these are in number format and is the expected format only. So then I will be using this formula is number and then this particular cell and then put end, and then simply click on this small window in the bottom side of right hand side of that cell. Once I click on that, it will immediately replicate itself throughout the entire Excel column up to the point where there is data. So this I will make the name as a check. So this, as you can see, this is not number. This first cell, it is going to left aligned and it is just a text cell. So now how do I change it? Obviously, there are two ways. If once I have made this column, I can simply filter out the false ones and then all of them together I can do select them and do this exercise. Like, say there are five such values which are such kind of text. So like this. So say these are the three values which are text. So then what I can do is you can simply go to home and put a filter, and this in this filter I can filter out the false values, and this will give me like this. So I'll just simply select all of them and then convert to number. So this will immediately convert to number. So then once this is done, I can immediately delete this particular column and everything will be like old, and only that the format will now be changed and everything will be in number format. So the probability of giving an incorrect solution will be far less. Now there is one other thing. Say suppose one of these cells has having a text format. So some of the people often tell me also that why not just select the entire column up to the point where there is data and then just format all of this together and make it a number. It is easy. Okay, so I'll do just that in front of you and show you why it's not advisable. Is that say now I am converting it to a number, the entire column as etc. and okay. It's still giving the same error. So it's like this, it's still in the left aligned and it is still showing this error that you have to force convert this particular cell to a number. So why is this so? Now it is so because when you have a particular text inserted, once you are trying to convert from one format to another, it does not necessarily delete that particular text. So here I have convert say in that particular format from where I have copied the data had a apostrophe in it. That's why it is taking this number as a text. So when it is trying to convert back to number for all the cells, it is not able to eliminate the apostrophe by itself. So because it doesn't know, Excel is not like human that they can understand which is a text and which is an apostrophe, which it should be there in that cell or not. So this understanding obviously they will not have. So that's why it's not able to convert. So best way to convert, as I told you, it create another column and is number, use the formula, understand what is the, if there is any change. If there is not change, then obviously if it is already giving all that things as true, then fine. If it is not fine, then filter out and then convert. That's the easiest way to do it. So this is for the same and for all the things. And when you are creating an Excel sheet, especially for sales or marketing or HR, whoever is listening to this particular video, always try to create a table out of it before proceeding to do for sharing the data. What it does is that it makes the entire thing very uniform and very compact. So what you do, you just open the home this thing and then go to format as table and choose whichever format suits you best. Usually you choose the blue one, or if you like some other thing you can also select that also. So here again, as you are seeing that they are in the first column, first row, the headings are there, and these headings I want to keep. So my table has headers, so that's why I will click this as a dash. I will keep it as at that, and then click as a simple OK. So see, this will be change the filtered cell. So because this is again understand, this is a already in the filtered state. So once you are defining a table, if it is a filtered, then it will Excel will have a problem. So that's why you need to first and remove the filter, and then you do this exercise. So you have removed it, and now I will do this. I will select the entire area. So I have done Control Shift right arrow and down arrow, and after that I have now looking at formatting in this as a table. So I have selected this, I have ticked on my table as headers, clicked in OK, and it's formatted. So this is a table format. So later on, whichever values I will be adding, whichever rows I will add, it will automatically copy the format above it. So it reduces a lot of work for me. Okay, so but still it is not perfect. The data is still not perfect. If you look at all the columns, what I will do initially, it will not take much time. It just simply I will do like this only, equal to is number. I'll just check once. So it's very important to use this formulation so that you know it becomes you can, once it's table formatted, it will easily copy everything from the top to bottom. So if we'll just get the formula immediately replicated. So I know now that okay, this is okay, so it is also number, so not a problem. Any other thing? So these two columns also I want to check, so I will just simply do it. Yeah, check this. I will take equal to is number. So again I will press the right formula, so it will use this, and simply yes, true, everything is there. Just to filter down, yes, everything is true, so it's also fine. I'll move or delete it, and then again in this particular case I will do the same thing, is number. I will check this particular thing, and I will in this bottom will get select this in the pirate format. So once I have seen this, I will find that okay, everything is in true, so that means everything is in correct format in terms of number. So these three cells I have checked, and this is okay and fine. This I believe is already in text format. So whichever cells which I might require formatting is that date cell. Date I am seeing here, that some are in number form and some are just the formats are not uniform. So what I will need to do before sharing with my boss, I will have to select this entire data here, and I can do two things. Actually I can do this by simply selecting the correct date format and maybe selecting that particular thing. This will give me a direct solution because all of them are dates anyways. If suppose in some cases it is such that some text has been copied in this particular column while copy pasting from different sources, then in that case I will have to filter out each and then make the correction. There is one other way which can in which I can immediately change, say if one or two things are there which I need to change in terms of format. Say if I want this to be written as 04/2020 only. Suppose this format is not what is suiting me, although this should suit. Or say I want to use the format of this, then what do I need to do? Here say I want to copy this format or this format, whichever format suits me, and I want to replicate it. Simply I will click on this cell. Then as told to you in the previous part of the video, go to home, and then place on this brush. You're seeing this brush, format painter. So it is also dropping and telling me what is the format. Select content and click format painter, select something else, and it will automatically do. So these are 3 steps. So you just simply select once, and then you come over that particular cell and place on it. So it will immediately change the format of that particular cell. Now sometimes it may happen so that your initial part of this particular column, you will find 3-4 things which are to be changed, and there is some towards the end. So you don't want to repeat the exercise repetitively. So what you can do is that, or say multiple columns are there where there is such kind of issue, then you can simply copy this format for format painter for a long time. So like you can double click on it. Once you double click on it, it will say automatically it will be remaining selected for some time. So what you can do then is that you can simply go and choose all the data whichever is there, and at one go, or say multiple goes. So you once you select the entire thing, it just immediately changes. If there was any other data, or say there was another column also in that you want to select, you can also select that, and can select on multiple columns, because this will stay selected for some time until unless separate action has been taken. So that will give you a measure of control, and you need not do it repetitively. Just by copying it once, you can now use it in multiple places. So that also you can do. Suppose you want to do this here, this format, then you can again do the same thing. Go to home and double click on it, so it will keep being selected. Select the whole thing again, and it will totally change once again to the given desired format. So again, it comes to like this. So whichever format you want to use, you can always use it, but make the entire column data look uniform, so that when you are showing that Excel sheet, everything looks good. Okay, so now next is the other aspects, like say once you are about to share this particular Excel, then you first need to hide the unrequired columns. What this does is that it limits the scope of visibility to a limited extent, so it will not show you any other some kind of arbitrary calculation you might have done in the sides, or some table you wanted to create and then left it or something like that. So it keeps a very good formatted thing. So then now once you have hide everything, then now you select the entire sheet. Again, control shift, then right arrow, and then left down arrow. So if you press all of this in order, then you will select the entire sheet. So once that you have selected, what you need to do, is home. You need to go and you wrap the text. But before wrapping, in fact, you should align it properly. So usually it is best to align, the central alignment is better. So you do the central alignment, and at the same time you can do the wrapping of text. So if you once you do that, you can see that everything becomes really neat and clear, and everything is in its correct place. As you say in TPM, that everything should be in order and everything should be in place. So this exactly is what you want. If there is still requirement or room, you feel that you can spread it out, or you should spread out a little bit more, then you can do that. So once you do that, everything is in there now in the Excel sheet in a proper given order. Now suppose you want to remove the grid lines. At this point in time, there are tables, and below that there you can see here there are these grid lines on display. So usually it's always good practice that if you remove the grid lines also. So once you remove the grid lines, it actually makes a completely white kind of a background to the Excel sheet. What this does is that it gives a focus on the different given areas or data. Now, one other thing that one should always try to do is that it's better also that once you are giving this particular sheet for your bosses analysis, you should always try to add a few other columns in some of the sheets for helping in tracking. So like here in table, this version you may not get in your own Excel. This is the latest version of Excel so far. So this particular feature is there, so which I wanted to discuss with you. So if you use this feature, so what you will do, the Excel do, it will create an extra row at the bottom. So you can then bifurcate it. Say you want it as an average value, then you can see the average. So it will show you this average. So and then you can copy this particular this thing to different places. Okay, so you in fact you did not even copy. In fact, this is the entire full this row is be such that you can always for individual particular column you can select the type you want to display. So suppose if for this you want to display a say counting the numbers, so it will show you 82 records are there in this particular this thing column so far. So again, if you here you want to again show okay the after count numbers, if you show, then it will not show you the correct figure because it is a text value. So it will count numbers will only work if there is numbers. So all of these are text, so that's why it's showing 0. So so here you don't want to show anything, so you put it as none. Then what you want to do is that suppose here in towards the this thing in this so last month's order you want to show here, you want to show the maximum say so maximum last month, you will find that this is the maximum. Then say if you want to say till date what is the maximum, then of all SKUs till so far built to a particular outlet, so that is coming as this. Now you may also want to highlight this particular data. Okay, so you may want to show in within this Excel also that particular cell which is you feel that is of value. Okay, so that you can show. How do you show? You can select that particular once you have got this particular thing, so you can control F, and for visual delight you can always select it. So what you will do it is that you will get to the cell. So and once you get to the cell you want to show it in a different manner. So what you will do, so here you will go to the cell style, and the cell style show it as good. Obviously if there is some total orders for a particular outlet is highest among all other outlets, it's something good. So in the same way, if suppose you want to also see that whether it is bad or something, or you want to highlight this particular thing, say this is the highest, and then you want to write lowest. So the lowest you want to write it below, then you can see write it as min. You can see you will get the lowest value, so you write it here lowest. So lowest value you copy, and then in the entire row you will get 2419 wherever control F 2419 you will find here you got it. So you got to this cell, and then again do that that formatting it's bad, that cell style you go and it is a bad. Okay, so if you do this, then you once you are well able go down, you can easily always scroll down and you can figure out this particular thing. So the same way you can do this for the for all other depots also. So what you need to do is that say suppose here you are doing say you again want to show the highest. So your highest is this. So highest you copy it here, and again you go to the cell and then do here minimum. So you are getting a minimum, then you write it here minimum. So this ready kind of a note that you will be creating, and you can anyways come to a bottom side and see what is the status. So you can also highlight these particular cells to show the pattern also if you want to say something within this particular Excel sheet or data sheet. So these are one other way, and the other way of converting the columns, this column names is also there. So it is the same thing. You go to the sales style. In the sales style, you select say whichever it suits you. Say you want to use this format, 60% of accent. You can use that. So it can this will give you different levels of display, which otherwise you will be it will take a lot of time for you to get to. So you have to select the cell and then all the change all the colors and all that. So these are very unique, so it will give you a unique kind of a display, an audio display in terms of the Excel sheet. So this is the thing. So and then what you will do then in terms of designing, what you need to do is that you see the sheet you can name the sheet also, or if you don't want to name the sheet, you can always say you can also use protection feature and other things, but I don't want to go into that at this time. So I would like to say that say suppose you have done another Excel sheet and you have done some calculations there. Okay, so you have said that okay, you done VLOOKUP and you done some pivoting etc, but you don't think that this particular sheet will be required. So in that case always do right click on the sheet name, And they will give you this many options. You can delete the sheet, or move or copy, view code and other things. View code etc will be required later if not needed at this point in time or in the scope of this particular video. So you can simply do a hide. So if you have done the hide, then that sheet is no longer visible. So you have only one sheet as you are sending, so they will can only see this. Now hiding also helps if suppose you have done some other background work as a pre requirement and not what exactly the boss has just told. So you have done some extra work. So you can always hide it, and suppose in the course of the presentation you can always unhide it and get some more brownie points over that you have done this also. So these things are also possible, so that you can, that's also one of the reasons of why using a hide and other things. So these are basically how a sheet should be formatted and kept in order. Once you have done that, you need to control S or save the particular sheet. Once you have shaped this particular sheet, which is very clear and neatly drafted, you can here you don't need this particular this thing, but still if you required, you can also here freeze the top row. So if you freeze the top row, then as you scroll down, you will always get to see the particular top row in context of which you can do the further analysis. This video is not a related to analysis but only a formatting. So I have shown you that this is the basic formatting that everyone should use while or before sending any data or going ahead for presentation. So and with that, now coming to the naming convention related thing, and in fact prior to that, just want to share you one more thing. So suppose you at any point in time feel that a cell has more spaces, you can always use something called trim. So that trim function usage I'm just showing to you. I'll delete this thing. So trim you use it in this like syntax. So what it will do, it will bring things a lot closer. Here there are not much of space, but still there are one extra space. After doing the trim, you can easily visualize that one space has reduced, and everything now is more hard pressed. Okay, so this you can use before doing any VLOOKUP. So this will help you in terms of getting the very correct response and reducing all the spaces which may at times cause hindrance in giving a correct result to the particular functionality, VLOOKUP or any other macro or anything else. Okay, so this you can also use. So once you have done that, you will be in good state. So after that, now we will go back to the naming sheet part. So going back to now closing this Excel, save changes. I've saved it. Yes, save. After that, what I will do, I will go to that particular folder. So in this folder, I just told you previously that I have kept three names. So why I might have kept this name? So it's about naming convention. So here, as of now, this file is named at a.xlsx, but I will rename it. But before that, I'm just showing you that how names actually work. So suppose these are three files. These are actually empty files, but I have just named it like that. So if you are using this kind of a naming convention, usually these people prefer more because this relates more to our normal understanding of dates, but and the sequence also. But the problem here is that if you use this kind of convention, then if you are going to that particular sheet in Excel, and if you are trying to do say a sorting, then you will not get the correct sort order. So why you will not get the correct sort order? You will not get the correct sort order because here you will find that say you want that your 21st August 2020 should be followed by 23 August 2020, and then the 21st August 2021 should come. But it doesn't happen like that, because Excel, while formatting, you will use the first particular given part of the name and not toward the last part. So how can you avoid this? So suppose you rename this in such a manner like this. I'm just telling you in the same file, same thing. So you just rename it. So I'll rename it like say 2020. Then give 2020 and give say this only August 21 21, yes, and then give name underscore name. If I use this format and say now I copy this thing here also, I use it that 2021 August 23 underscore name, and I write this one also like this, say renaming it as 2020 and as simple normal org 23 and give them as a name. Then if I do this sorting, you will find that I have got the correct sort order. I've done the reverse order, but I have got the correct order. If I do this in the frontal direction, that is in the ascending order, I'll get that also. So that now this way I can sort all the files in that particular folder in the required format. So this helps actually in when you are storing a large number of database in a one particular folder. So this naming helps, always helps. So if you use this kind of naming, so if I have to save this file, I will save this like this, and so I'll rename it as say 2020, and this is September, and say this is 6th September. So I will give 6th, and this is a trial. So I will name it like this. So once I have done that, if I am now trying to figure out by the dates, I will get this kind of a date. So August comes as September, so like that. So here it's a reverse order, so I'll just click it again, so it will give you the correct order. So August 21st comes first, then August 23rd, then September 6th, then again 2021st, August 20th. So it's a perfect order. So this is always give me the sorted correct order. So this helps and gives me more control. So once I have done that, obviously it will help me in doing future work on this related aspect. Okay, thank you. Okay guys, with that we come to an end to this video also. If you have any feedback, anything you wish to say or share, please feel free to put in the comment box. We'll try to come back with an explanation as well as, if required, a newer video for your assistance. Thank you. If you have liked or this particular video, feel free to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.